Page 52, Love's Old Sweet Song. It's a beautiful piece. In fact, our piano trio I'm in is working on this now. It's just gorgeous. Page 52, you get the verse, and then on page 53, you get what they call a refrain, and that's the popular. That's the part you probably recognize if you've heard this before. The refrain is like a chorus, right? It's like if you were to have multiple verses, you might sing different words over on page 52, but you'd always sing the same words each time on page 53. It's a refrain. Go look it up. Google it. Yeah. Since it's a simpler piece and it's kind of slow, we can think about other things, all right? Right hand. I want to change the fingering on all these repeated notes because I don't like them. You can use same finger if you want to, but I'm going to suggest stuff. At the beginning, I'm going to 3 1 3 1 3 1 3 1. Just. And then on the second measure, it's a 1 2 3. And that is a dotted rhythm. Last measure is a 2 3 1 3. It's another dotted rhythm. And then a 1. The first measure, the second line, is a 2 1 2. The last measure of the second line is a 3 4. And a 3 5 for the half note. And then a 5 is fine. Okay. The last line on page 52 on those thirds, these are a bit awkward, but no other fingering seems to work very well. All right, now it's the melody we're after, so we want to connect that. So this fingering, just try it. It's a bit awkward because you got to put the thumb on the C sharp, but as I said, nothing else seems to work very well. Second measure, 3 5 4 2 1 3, and then a 1 2. Again, we want to connect the melody. That's what we're after. The thumb may have to play consecutive notes, but that's part of the game. And that's about it for the right hand. For the left hand, you just got your chords. The primary chords for the most part. It's a little awkward at the bottom of page 52 in the left hand, the last two measures, because you're here, then here, and then here. If you want, in the last measure, you could play that with a 3 2, but you still got to go down to get the low C. And this is not pedaled, all right? We're doing it with our fingers. You could pedal if you want to, but I'm trying not to use the pedal if I don't have to, so it's here. It's the melody we're after. That's got to hear. Then on 53, we're pedaling it. The refrain we're pedaling. And it's a legato pedal, except between the phrases. We want to hear a break between the phrases. So you have to lift the pedal up, usually with the right hand, so we can hear a break there in the right hand. The left hand is legato throughout. There's no break in the left hand. At the end of the first line on page 53, we have here, I would lift the pedal up with the right hand, so we get a 1 beat silence in the right hand. But the left hand is legato, so I'm not going to do anything special with the left hand. Okay, so I continue. In the second line, they have 2 phrases marked in there. I disagree, because if you read the words, it's like one thought, one sentence sort of, part of one sentence. So I would connect all of that together on the second line. But when you get to the end of the second line, it's the end of a phrase. So I would lift the pedal up with the right hand, so we get just an instance of silence in the right hand. Now the left hand is legato, there's no silence there, so it's here. Now if you happen to have silence in the left hand also, don't worry about it. I mean, the way the notes are going and the fingering, you're almost forced to have some silence because you can't, it's difficult to finger a legato, all right? we certainly want some silence there. So now in the third line, I leave it up to you whether you're going to have the phrase that way or not. They've got it where the first two measures are phrased and then the next two measures are phrased. And if you look at it, there's a comma in between them. But somehow I have problems with short phrases because it tends to make it choppy. So you'll have to experiment and decide what you like. Do you like it separated? Or just connect the whole thing? You decide what you're going to do. I think I'm going to connect them just because I don't like short phrases. Now some songs you do, it's the nature of the song, it's the atmosphere of it, but this is a nice smooth legato piece. Then at the end of the fourth measure, that third line, you definitely have a break in the phrase. I lift the pedal up with the right hand, so we get one beat of silence in the right hand. The left hand is legato, there's no silence there. Then in the last line, in the second measure, I would do the third beat, that's the middle C, no pedal, so that's by itself. Okay, you're getting louder. Okay, and there we're going to hold, and then the pedal and the hands will come up, everything for just an instant, so we get just a little bit of silence, and then the right hand starts it. And then in the next to the last measure, I would not pedal the first two beats. Put the pedal down on the third beat if you want. At the end, the pedal and the hands come up at the same time. Now, if it's feeling mushy to you, if you at the top of page 53, if this is, you don't like the sound, okay, then don't pedal the first beat. During that, just wait for a bit on those measures that have different notes. Don't pedal that beat. Simple as that, just leave it out for one beat, big deal. Bring out the melody, it's the top note in the right hand. That's what we want to hear, everything else should be under it. So any dynamics given, applied to the melody. At the beginning, it's soft. P for soft, that's the melody, so everything else got to be softer than that. You decide what soft is, because soft, it's all a relative thing. Yeah. The fermata at the end and the left hand, I'm going to hold that for 4 counts instead of 2. I'm going to ignore the retardando. I can't do that. The slower indication they give for the last 3 measures, or part of 3 measures, that isn't a slowing down, that is, you're actually playing it at a slower tempo. So I'm playing it, the original is about here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Then when I get down to the end on slower, it's going to 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay. It doesn't say how slower, how much. So you have to decide how much slower do you think it should go. It's a feel thing. Everybody will do it a little different, and that's great. You know, that's part of what makes music wonderful. Let's try this out together. Right hand, left hand. Put your foot on the pedal because you're going to need it eventually. 1, 2, ready, go.